Welcome, everyone, and I am so glad you are here. This is the third episode in our series on higher education. We are taking on everything from college choice, college cost, degree selection, and even that very, very hard question, is college even worth it anymore? I'm Dr. David Hopkins. I am your host and guide, and for those of you who know me, higher education, that's my home turf. I've been teaching and advising, working in administration, even academic publishing for well over 25 years now. But why am I going here? Because, let's be honest, college is too high stakes a game to leave to chance, to feelings, or following the crowd. The rules, they've changed, and the system is in many ways a mess. And if you're basing your decisions on clear strategic moves, you can still win. But if you're not, the system can end up burying you in debt and leaving you in a worse position than you were when you even started. So if you're a student, a parent, or somewhere lost in the wilderness of life's next steps and staring at college like some dangerous beast, this season is going to be for you. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm glad you're here, though, today, because we're talking about a freight train, and it's coming at us fast, and most people aren't even aware of it yet. And it would be negligent in education to not talk about artificial intelligence. Yeah, I know you've heard all kinds of things in the news, the doomsdayers that the world's going to end and nobody will have a job, to it's going to unleash unheard of intelligence that will make our lives a utopia, where none of us even have to be cubicle jockeys anymore, living in or some sort of a worker drone working a 9-to-5 job ever again. And everyone can just sit around and unleash their hidden Da Vinci creativity and live happily ever after. I honed in on this cultural phenomena about 2.5 years ago. And for full disclosure, I am an AI certified prompt engineer, and I use AI every single day. I get more and more impressed as the models improve of what AI can and will do in the future. But here's the thing. What will this mean for all of us? Heck, prompt engineering doesn't even mean much of anything anymore as these models get so sophisticated. But really, honestly, if you are a Gen Zer or even younger, you simply cannot ignore this any longer. You can't, or you're going to be left behind, period, full stop. And when I say left behind, I don't know how dramatic that could be. And I'd be lying to, and anybody's lying to if they say they know definitively what's going to happen. But let's dive into this. And I've chosen a recent study and an article that came out of Stanford University, which is one of the leading research institutes in this field. So the headline, is something, I saw it on an NPR article, and basically it asked a bold question: what skills actually matter in the age of AI? So let me translate this for you. What can you do that a machine can't? Or are we just doomed? Because this is going to be the new bar for students. You can like it or you can hate it, but that really doesn't matter, because this one question could determine whether you make a lot of money in the future and have a fulfilling career, or you waste your time, money, and energy getting a degree in something that's not even going to be around. So again, what can you do that a machine can't? This study didn't pull any punches. It said what a lot of people have been whispering. AI isn't just replacing jobs. It's erasing the entire on-ramp, the entry-level job, the thing that used to get your foot in the door, gone, vaporized by algorithms and large language models that can now do 70 to 80% of what a junior employees were hired to do. Oh, and the tech people think that junior software engineer is immune because the degree that he went to college for says information technology on it, or engineer. Well, you might want to rethink that, because that's not going to be the fact going forward. So let's sit with that for just a second. We used to think that AI would only take on the boring jobs: data entry, warehouse work, phone reps, reading scripts. But here's what Sinead Bovell, a futurist featured in this NPR piece, said. He said, it's not just the repetitive tasks. AI is now drafting legal memos. It's writing your first round marketing copy. It's spitting out prototypes for apps. It's writing thousands of lines of code, troubleshooting code, and writing captions for social media. That's entry level work, but that's where new grads learn, grow, and fail forward. And it's being replaced before a lot of you out there even get a shot. And here's the ugly truth no one likes to say out loud. If you don't get that first job, if there's no bottom rung of the ladder anymore for new college graduates, how in the world are you going to climb forward? So this thing for anyone in Gen Z is serious. So you need a survival strategy. So what now? That's the question that's being asked by thousands of Gen Zers, thousands of Gen Alpha, or whatever they're called these days. What in the world is going to happen? Should I even go to college at all? So let's pivot this episode, because we're not talking about despair here. As best I can tell, at this particular pivot point, we are in that there's certain skills, and I'm just going to choose 5 of them, that as a student in high school or college, you really should master. So if you're a student, or heck, anyone in the workforce, figure out a way to build mental muscle in the areas I'm going to talk about right now. Because for the foreseeable future, the skills that I'm going to talk about, AI still can't fake it, they can't mimic it, and they can't automate it. These aren't resume buzzwords. These are non-negotiable human skills that can make you indispensable. And so here we go. I'm just going to list them all for you, and I'm going to talk about each one and what you can do to try and build these skills. So number 1 is judgment. AI is great. It can give you 50 answers to just about anything you want, but it can't tell you which one fits this particular moment in this particular context for this particular team loaded with these types of personalities. That's a judgment skill. That's on you. That's something right now that can't be replaced. But how do you build the skill of judgment? Well, this is where colleges really need to up their game. Or if they don't do it, you need to figure out a way to do this on your own. Work through case studies and scenarios. Play devil's advocate. Argue for the other side on all kinds of topics. Heck, politics is a great place to do that. Might sound counterintuitive, but for a fun exercise, why don't you try this? Play a mental game of chess with AI itself. Drop a scenario from a textbook, from what you see online. Drop a situation and argue for and against a course of action. Let the AI take one side, you take the other one. Real-time, real-life judgments are something that AI is not prepared to handle well right now. But I hate to say it, a lot of us aren't very well prepared right now to handle that either. So let me ask you honestly, do you have the ability to judge scenarios and situations that you run across without emotion? Are you easily offended, angered, or lack the ability to objectively analyze a situation? Well, if that's you, AI might even have you beat already. But here's the kicker. If you build the mental muscle to think your way through tough situations, you have a skill unique and invaluable in today's society where, let's be honest, lots of people are mentally weak. and simply can't handle discourse with anyone they disagree. So judgment number one. Number two, communication. AI can generate text. Yes, it can, and it's very impressive, but it can't necessarily inspire, persuade, or look someone in the eyes and earn trust. In the business world, no matter what area you go into, I don't care if you're in the nonprofit, for-profit sector, looking someone in the eye and the ability to earn trust through your communication, wow, that's a superpower. Too many students self-label themselves introverts and think a high level of communication skills is an inherited talent. This is a lie. Communication skills are built by practice. You engage with other humans. You practice your skills. Explain hard things in easy to understand language. One of the greatest skills to master is storytelling. With a beginning, a middle, a twist, a takeaway. People get bored by data and information, but oh, do they remember a great story? So as you are growing up, watch great speakers. Model those TEDx speakers, a great place. Practice those skills. I know soft skills like this, well, they're often undervalued, and it's because they're hard to put your finger onto. But in the world of AI, these soft skills, these human skills become more and more vital. Join groups like Toastmasters or other college groups that focus on public speaking and speaking in general. Debate clubs are awesome, or other groups that just focus on speaking. It will be well worth your time. The third skill, deep thinking and problem structuring. What is this? What is this? Deep thinking is the ability to slow down, dig beneath the surface, and see the full structure of a problem before rushing to solve it. It's not just thinking harder. No offense, AI can outthink you. It can outthink me. I've spent my entire life, earned a doctorate degree in the humanities. AI knows more than I could ever dream of knowing about the humanities ever. I mean, it would bury me. So it's breaking. So when we talk about deep thinking and problem structuring, it's breaking down messy questions into moving parts, spotting hidden assumptions, and asking better questions than obvious ones. Problem structuring means you don't just react, you design a framework for understanding. AI can generate answers for you. It is very good at it, but it doesn't know which questions are worth asking. It still relies on us to do it. That's where humans win. And why it matters? Noise versus signal. In a world drowning in quick takes, instant answers, those who can organize chaos into clarity stand out. Career advantage, every industry, it pays a premium for people who can structure ambiguous problems. Consulting, law, engineering, public policy, entrepreneurship. You could use this skill anywhere. Because AI has limits. Tools like ChatGPT, they reflect what we already know. But deciding what question to ask and what's missing when you're in a real world, real-time environment, that is uniquely human and it is highly valuable. Technology changes, but the ability to dissect complex issues, war, climate change, financial decisions, relationship decisions, that always matters. But how do you build a skill of deep thinking and problem structuring? Well, the 5 whys drill. Start with any claim. College is too expensive, for example, and ask why 5 times. You'll strip away the surface layer and hit root causes. Play strategic games, chess or Go, even complex board games. These force you to plan several steps ahead, anticipate trade-offs, weigh risk versus rewards. Huge. So sometimes those strategic games, video games or whatever game, chess, I can't stress chess enough, or Go, what a great game. Uh, those are things you can do to build that muscle. Case study journaling. Once a week, take a messy real world issue. Student debt, TikTok bans, and map it out. Map out key actors, root causes, constraints, possible solutions, and look at it from both sides. Research roadmaps. Pick a big question. How should we regulate AI? Instead of Googling the answer, write down what kinds of evidence you would need to make a decision and where to find it. This will train your brain to think like an investigator, not a consumer. See, right now, and this is a big problem with our social media, with our internet environment, and now even worse with AI, we just don't, we consume information. We ask something and we consume it. Flip the script on that. It'll help build that mental muscle. Debate without taking sides. Pick a controversial issue. I'm going to challenge you here. Politics is such a divisive topic, and whether you're on the left or right, I don't really care about that. That's not my problem. That's something for you to figure out. But if you're on the left side of a topic, say immigration, why don't you do this? Outline the strongest pro arguments for what you don't believe in. That is power. The point isn't your opinion. It's learning to see the structure and the reasoning of a very complex issue from multiple angles. Because you're not going to get that in the media. You're not going to get that from your politician. They are going to try to boil down extremely complex issues into something so facile and childlike that it isn't even relevant. I want you and those that are going to survive in this AI world, those that have the mental muscle to be able to go beyond the simplistic, those are the ones that are going to win. So deep thinking, problem structuring, huge. Number 4 is adaptability. It's kind of always been this way, adaptability. But, the ability to pivot and learn and keep moving forward when the ground shifts beneath you. It's not just rolling with the punches. It's recognizing when the old playbook, your old mindset, your old thoughts, they just don't work anymore. And you have to shift and you have to take on a new thing. We all know people that are 100% stuck in their ways, and they're not going to change no matter what. They will go to the grave before they will shift perspective. Those are not going to be the people that are going to succeed in this post-AI world. So adaptability, it's huge. Skills expire fast in this world. What's cutting edge today is going to be outdated and gone in 3 to 5 years. The winners aren't the ones who mastered a single skill in college and you have it documented on a piece of paper. The ones that are going to win in this next generation are the ones who can reskill again and again. AI is going to speed everything up, and it already is. So as AI reshapes jobs, adaptable people are not going to panic. They are going to find opportunities inside of the change because there will be opportunities. But if you will not adapt, you are going to get consumed. Employers are going to demand this. Surveys, even by employers, already show that adaptability and learning agility are among the top future skills companies want. And when the market flips, they're counting on employees who are not going to freeze. So life even requires this. Beyond just jobs, adaptability is going to make you resilient when life throws you curveballs, relationships, finances, health. That adaptability muscle is going to keep you from breaking under pressure. So how do you do it? Cross-train your brain. Coders, if this is you and you are scared to death, take a design class. Artists, learn basic accounting. Step outside your lane. builds mental flexibility, seek discomfort, volunteer, travel, work part-time in places where you don't know the rules. Growth happens when you're forced to figure it out. Run micro experiments. I love this. Once a month, try something new. Try something new. Maybe try and create something that you never thought you would create. Practice public speaking. The goal isn't mastery, it's proving to yourself that you can learn fast. Practice what if scenarios. Imagine your dream career collapses tomorrow. What's plan B? What do you do? If you're in college right now, you think you want to be a CPA accountant? What happens if AI reaches general intelligence and wipes out, 60% of the accounting jobs? What's plan B for you? Write out an alternative. And doing this, it's going to train your brain, even though you're not actually doing it yet, to pivot under pressure. This is what you need. Reflect on change. Keep a quick journal. When life throws a curveball, write down how you responded and what you learned. Over time, you'll see proof that you can handle it. And then learn to unlearn. Pick one outdated belief, method, or process that you've already outgrown. And reflect back on it and how you moved forward. See, adaptability, it's not just about adding skills. It's about dropping preconceived notions that could be possibly holding you back. And then the fifth one, lifelong learning. Let me say this up front. I almost cringe even bringing this up. It feels like one of those overused, cheesy, cliche, motivational poster phrases that you need to be a lifelong learner. But hear me, because I mean it in all seriousness, and you should take it that way too. In the world we're heading into, this isn't optional fluff, it's survival. Lifelong learning, that commitment to never let your education end. It's the habit of reinventing yourself again and again. Not because a teacher assigns homework, but because you know the world doesn't stand still. It's curiosity turned into discipline. It means treating learning as a lifestyle, not as a 4-year phase. There may have been a time 20, 30, 40 years ago, you could just get the degree, you could get the job, you could cruise through your career, work at the same employer, and not really have to pivot all that much. I'm sorry, that is not where we're at. In this world, degrees expire. A diploma proves what you knew at one given point in time, but industries and technologies and cultures, they shift too fast in this technologically driven world. And it's just not enough. The people who are going to thrive and win are the ones who are going to keep learning long after graduation. See, Gen Z workers are projected to have 8 to 10 career changes in their life. Reinvention isn't rare anymore. It's already almost the rule. Lifelong learning makes that sustainable. So AI proofing yourself is important. AI can spit out those facts instantly, but it can't tell you what's worth exploring or how to connect dots across disciplines. Lifelong learners become the translators between old knowledge, new frontiers. And that can be you in the future. So people who keep learning, they don't get stuck or irrelevant as easily. Growth is built into who they are, not something that stopped at age 22 with the 4-year degree. So how do you do this? I don't know. It's not, there's no silver bullet here. Pick a skill or a subset or a subject. Let's say SQL basics. Do a 2-week sprint, learn the basics on that. Focus on it. Reflect on what you gained. Is it something that you can take forward somewhere else? If not, try something else. Teach what you learn. The fastest way to master something is to explain it to someone. Blog it. Make a TikTok. Just teach a friend. Teaching locks in knowledge. Build a personal learning system. Use whatever tools stick. Journals, flashcards, sticky notes. Doesn't matter what the tool is. Just be consistent about it. And stack up skills and certifications. Don't just go deep, go wide. Layer in new abilities onto what you already know. A psychology major who also learns data analysis. An engineering who studies storytelling. Unique combinations create unique career edges. And all this requires you just to stay curious. Trade one scroll session a day for a podcast, an article, or a video that is outside of your lane. I know social media wants to force us all into one specific bubble because it is very profitable for them to do so, but that is not in your best interest to do that. So small daily inputs compound into massive knowledge over time, and read. Experiment and reflect, try, fail, adjust. Treat learning like a lab. Test different approaches and track what works for you. All of those can do it. And again, I know this, a lot of people are saying, yeah, whatever. This sounds silly and ridiculous, but you have to keep in mind that those old models of just knowing information and data, they're not going to work. So you have to take on these soft skills, these fluffy things, these things that don't fit nicely into a box. And as I throw out ideas to you, I am not claiming they're going to be the only things that can work, but you have to broaden your horizons, broaden your thinking skills, and however that works best for you, go for it. But here's the mindset shift. We are going through a structural change like we have never seen in the last 40, 50 years. We've been sold a formula that is now broken, which is number one, you go to school, you get a degree, you land a job, and you're allowed to stay the course, live the American dream happily ever after. That game is over. Think about Blockbuster Video. For those of you old enough, for you younger ones, you probably don't even know what that is. For years, it looked like Blockbuster Video was untouchable. That big building on every corner with aisles and aisles of DVDs and late fees funding this huge empire. Then all of a sudden, the world of streaming came along. Netflix showed up. And an internet connection showed up. And Blockbuster kept playing that old game when the rules had already changed. A few years later, bankrupt, gone. No more Blockbuster anywhere. It did not adapt. It did not change. That's exactly what happens to people who cling to an old formula that doesn't exist anymore. Here's the new formula. Learn, adapt, pivot, and repeat. This is the mindset of Netflix, Spotify, Apple, companies that constantly reinvent themselves instead of being fossilized. It's the same mindset individuals need if they don't want to become the human version of Blockbuster Video. Here's the shift. The winners aren't the ones with the fanciest major, the Ivy League crest, or the flawless resume. They are going to be the ones who know how to think deeply, communicate clearly, make smart choices, keep moving when the rules change mid-game. It's not a one-and-done investment education any longer. It is a lifelong practice. Every pivot will sharpen you. Every reinvention will keep you relevant. And every time the ground shifts, you won't be terrified. Instead, you'll be ready to capitalize. I'll give you a couple scenarios here, playing the new game. Let's meet this hypothetical student, Jordan. She's a psychology major. But she's just not sitting through lectures. She takes the free online UX design courses. jumps into a Discord for mental health startups, runs a TikTok channel breaking down psychology concepts with humor. One summer, she interns at a telehealth company. By graduation, she's not just a quote-unquote psych major. She's a creator with a portfolio and network, real-world digital skills stacked on top of her degree. Fast forward 3 years into an AI-heavy world, and her old psych textbooks are outdated, and AI large language models, they've already absorbed the whole thing, but she's already pivoted into behavioral designs for apps. AI therapy bots that don't threaten her. She's the one training companies to make those bots feel more human. Her career is alive because she stays alive to change. Let me give you a scenario too, playing the old game. Here's a student stuck in the past. Meet Chris. Chris plays it real safe. He majors in business because, well, of course, because that sounds incredibly practical. He studies, he crams, he passes exams, checks the boxes, graduates with a diploma. No project, no network, no adaptability muscle. 3 years later, he's blindsided. AI does half the work he's trained for. Spreadsheets, automated. Market research, automated. Done faster by a bot. Entry-level analyst jobs, drying up. Chris is smart, but he never learned outside the syllabus. The old game told him a degree would carry him. It won't. He's playing checkers in a world that's flipped to chess. The takeaway here, Jordan and Chris are two hypothetical students. They started at the same system. One treated education like a launch pad, learning, experimenting, stacking skills. The other treated it like a finish line. Probably had a lot of fun at all the football tailgates and basketball and time at the bars on campus. But in an AI-driven world, only one of them is still in the game. So the real question is this. Are you building yourself into a Jordan? Or are you waiting to wake up as Chris? So let me say it plain. AI isn't a villain. Complacency is. If you're 18, 19, 22, heck, if you're 35, this isn't a crisis. It should be a clarity bomb, a wake-up call. Your signal to stop waiting and start building. The world doesn't need another stack of polished resumes. If you're already in that game, then you've applied hundreds and hundreds of times. You know that doesn't work. You can have the most beautiful resume. What we need and what you will need to be able to do is bring judgment, strategy, resilience, and relentless curiosity. Because in a world where machines can do almost everything, being unmistakably human is your edge. That's going to be the key. It's never been like this before, but that's where we're at. So think about that. So that's it, for today's episode. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope this has sparked something for you. It challenges something inside of you or gave you a new lens on the college and career machine. If so, I hope you'll just share the episode, text it to a friend, send it to a parent, post it where you might actually help someone. And while you're at it, subscribe, follow this podcast. It really helps me spread the word. So head over to my site. Also, if you want, daviddhopkins.com. You're going to find episodes, guides, tools to take this conversation even further. And if you want to directly DM me about your own situation, I'd love to hear from you. We're not here to play the old game. We're here to rewrite it, and we're here to win when it comes to college, careers, and life. So until the next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and never stop asking the hard questions. I'm Dr. David Hopkins. I will catch you on the next episode. Take care.